Hey gengs! Aiva balik lagi di Canterist Teknosiana, tempatnya berita teknologi yang selalu fresh dan kekinian. Kali ini kita bakal ngomongin soal langkah besar Google di dunia wearable tech. Google barusan investasi $150 juta buat bikin kacamata AI bareng Warby Parker dan Samsung. Wah, seriusan nih? Alright, so what's the actual story here? We're looking at Google making a pretty significant re-entry into the smart glasses space, but this time with a different playbook. That $150 million investment isn't just pocket change. It signals serious intent. They're partnering with Warby Parker, a name synonymous with stylish, accessible eyewear, and also reportedly Gentle Monster, another fashion-forward brand. This immediately tells me they're prioritizing design and wearability, a lesson hard learned from the Google Glass era. And that's a smart move. And then there's Samsung in the mix. This suggests a focus on robust hardware, seamless integration, and potentially tapping into Samsung's manufacturing prowess and ecosystem. The core idea is to embed Google's Gemini AI directly into these glasses. Imagine an AI assistant that's always there, discreetly in your eyewear, offering contextual information and interaction. This is more than just a notification display. It's about a deeper, more intuitive AI experience. So let's dive into what this project, which has been whispered about for a while, is truly aiming to achieve. So, let's really break down what Google is trying to build here. This isn't just another iteration of smart glasses as we've known them. The ambition seems to be much larger, focusing squarely on creating a powerful AI-first wearable experience. The collaboration with Warby Parker and Gentle Monster is the first big clue. These aren't tech companies. They are established, respected names in the fashion eyewear space. This tells you Google is serious about making something that people will actually to wear. Something that doesn't scream tech gadget from a mile away. It's about blending into daily life, not standing out for the wrong reasons. The involvement of these fashion brands is a direct response to one of the biggest criticisms of the original Google Glass. It just didn't look good for everyday wear. By bringing in designers who understand aesthetics, comfort, and current styles, Google is aiming for a product that feels natural and fashionable. Imagine picking up your prescription glasses and they just happen to have this incredible layer of intelligence built in. That's the ideal they're likely chasing. Technology that enhances, rather than encumbers, your personal style and daily routine. This approach could be a game changer for adoption. Then there's Samsung's role in this equation. While Warby Parker and Gentle Monster handle the looks, Samsung brings the hardcore tech manufacturing and hardware expertise. We're talking about potentially cutting-edge display technology for the augmented reality elements, power-efficient processors crucial for a small device, and figuring out the battery life puzzle, which is always a massive challenge in wearables. Samsung also has a deep understanding of component miniaturization and integrating complex systems into compact form factors. Their experience with the Galaxy ecosystem, from phones to watches, will be invaluable in making these glasses a polished, functional piece of hardware. At the heart of it all is Google's Gemini AI. This is where things get really interesting. We're not just talking about basic voice commands to check the weather or send a quick text. The goal is to have a conversational, context-aware AI assistant integrated into your field of vision and hearing. Alright, so now for the exciting part. What features can we actually expect from these AI glasses? Of course, at this stage, a lot of this is based on leaks, rumors, and educated guesses, but some consistent themes are emerging. One of the most talked about features is an augmented reality, or AR display. Now, this probably won't be a fully immersive, field-of-view filling experience like some high-end VR headsets. Instead, think more along the lines of a sophisticated heads-up display, subtly overlaying digital information onto your real-world view. This could be anything from notifications to navigation arrows. Naturally, deep integration with Google Assistant is a given, but expect it to be far more advanced than what you currently experience on your phone or smart speaker. We're talking about an always-on or easily activated contextual assistant that understands not just your voice commands, but also potentially what you're looking at or your current situation. Interaction might be primarily through voice, but it's also possible we'll see subtle gesture controls or even eye tracking playing a role. The aim is for a truly hands-free and intuitive way to access Google's AI capabilities. Then there's the integration with Google's suite of popular applications. Chapter 3. Kenapa Google serious banget? So why is Google doubling down on smart glasses, especially after the well-documented challenges with Google Glass? It's a fair question, and the answer lies in a combination of lessons learned, the evolving tech landscape, and Google's long-term strategic vision. First and foremost, we have to acknowledge Google Glass directly. It was a pioneering product, way ahead of its time in many respects, but it stumbled significantly. The design was perceived as awkward, privacy concerns were rampant, the term glass hole became a thing, the price was high, and the core use case wasn't entirely clear to the average consumer. However, failures can be powerful teachers. Google seems to have taken those lessons to heart. The emphasis on partnerships with fashion brands like Warby Parker and Gentle Monster is a clear indication that they understand design and social acceptability are non-negotiable this time around. They're not trying to force a tech-first product onto the market. They're aiming to integrate technology into a desirable, wearable form factor. This strategic shift in approach, focusing on aesthetics and user experience from the outset, is crucial. Then there's the competitive landscape. Apple has made a huge splash with the Vision Pro. While it's a different category of device, a full-blown spatial computer rather than lightweight AR glasses, its launch has reignited interest and investment in head-worn displays and augmented reality. Apple's entry often validates a market segment and puts pressure on other tech giants to respond. Google, with its deep expertise in AI and Android, certainly doesn't want to be left behind as the next wave of personal computing potentially shifts towards wearables and AR. Chapter 4. Ancaman buat siapa? Whenever a tech giant like Google makes a big move like this, it inevitably sends ripples across the industry. So, if these AI glasses actually take off and become a mainstream success, who stands to be disrupted or feel the pressure? The most obvious, and perhaps most provocative answer, is the smartphone itself. Now, I don't think AI glasses are going to replace smartphones entirely, at least not anytime soon. But they could certainly start to offload some of the functions we currently rely on our phones for. Imagine quick communications, accessing information, navigation, or even light content consumption happening directly through your glasses. If the experience is seamless and intuitive enough, you might find yourself reaching for your phone less often. This wouldn't kill the smartphone, but it could change its role, perhaps making it more of a central hub or a device for more intensive tasks, while glasses handle the quick, glanceable interactions. This shift in usage patterns could certainly impact smartphone manufacturers and app developers who are heavily reliant on the current mobile-first paradigm. Then there are other players in the AR/VR space. Apple's Vision Pro, while targeting a different, higher-end market segment for now, is still a competitor for consumer attention, developer resources, and the overall narrative around head-worn computing. If Google can deliver a compelling, more accessible AR glasses experience, it could challenge Apple's mindshare in the augmented reality domain. Similarly, companies like Meta, with their Quest headsets and ongoing AR glasses research, like Project Nazare, will be watching Google's moves very closely. Smaller AR startups and companies working on niche smart glasses solutions could also face increased pressure. When a behemoth like Google, with its vast resources, deep AI capabilities, and established ecosystem, enters a market with serious intent, it can be incredibly challenging for smaller players to compete. They might struggle to match the R&D investment, manufacturing scale, or marketing muscle. We could see some consolidation in the market, or startups might need to focus on very specific B2B or enterprise applications to differentiate themselves. Chapter 5. Kapan rilis dan siapa yang bisa pakai? So the big questions on everyone's mind: when can we actually get our hands on these AI glasses, and who will they be for initially? As you might expect with a project of this magnitude and complexity, Google is being pretty tight-lipped about official release dates. However, based on typical development cycles for new hardware categories and the current state of AR technology, we can make some educated guesses. Some reports suggest we might see a prototype or a developer-focused version by late 2025. A full consumer launch would likely follow sometime after that, possibly in 2026 or even later, depending on how development and testing progress. It's important to remember that creating a polished, reliable, and genuinely useful pair of AI glasses is an immense undertaking. There are so many hardware and software challenges to solve, from miniaturizing components to optimizing battery life and building out a compelling app ecosystem. Google will want to get this right, especially given the history with Google Glass. When these glasses do eventually launch, it's highly probable that Google will opt for a phased rollout. This is a common strategy for new and innovative products. They'll likely start by targeting specific developed markets. Think the United States, parts of Europe, and perhaps key tech hubs in Asia. These regions often have a higher concentration of early adopters, robust network infrastructure, and provide valuable testing grounds for gathering feedback and ironing out any kinks before a wider global release. As for the initial target audience, it's unlikely to be a mass-market play right out of the gate. The first generation of such a device often appeals to tech enthusiasts, developers eager to build for a new platform, and professionals who can derive clear benefits from hands-free information access and AI assistance. Think about fields like logistics, manufacturing, healthcare, or field services, where contextual information and remote collaboration can significantly improve efficiency and productivity. Chapter 6: The Future Through AI Lenses. So there you have it, Google's big swing at AI glasses, teaming up with fashion and tech giants like Warby Parker and Samsung. It's a compelling vision, stylish eyewear packed with Gemini AI, offering seamless information and assistance right before your eyes. They're clearly trying to learn from the stumbles of Google Glass, putting a much stronger emphasis on design, wearability, and genuine, everyday utility this time around. The potential for truly useful AR, instant information, and a hands-free AI companion is definitely huge. But as with any ambitious new technology, the hurdles are just as significant. Privacy is a massive concern that Google needs to address head-on with transparency and robust controls. Then, there's social acceptance, battery life, overall comfort, and of course, the price tag. This $150 million venture, however, signals that Google isn't just testing the waters. They're diving in, betting that AI-powered eyewear is a key part of our computing future. It's a fascinating development, and one we'll be watching very closely here at Canterist Teknosiana. Jadi gengs, siap gak pakai kacamata AI yang bisa ngobrol, ngasih info real-time, bahkan mungkin bantu kamu kerja? Tulis pendapatmu di kolom komentar. Jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan aktifin lonceng biar nggak ketinggalan kabar teknologi terkini bareng Aiva di Canterist. Sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya.